Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. If you're not near your mom, give her a call. And if you are near your mom, give her a hug and let her know how much you love her. The Quantum V2 upgrade kit. We've got all the bits and pieces here. And this is be my final thoughts and modifications on this after flying for a while. I became very frustrated with the sock specifically. And I actually went back to the old sock. And the reason behind that was I felt that this was tearing my eyebrows off every time I would take it off. These little bits right here, they would grab my eyebrows, I pulled them off, and they would try to take my eyebrows with them. And I could have cut those off, but I really didn't want to because I wanted to keep the weight up off my nose. And that was part of what the new sock was supposed to do. It was supposed to help us keep this weight off our nose. So what I did instead was I put a bit of elastic in there. As you can see here, it now gives. I feed this back in here, and I just needed a little bit. So this is all sewn in, and this piece right here that goes from one side, there's actually two pieces. Once you take the stitching out, you find they're two separate pieces. And all I did was create a gap between those two pieces because they actually, from what I could tell, looked like they touched or almost touched. So I just wanted to create about an inch gap, which I can make up with the Velcro straps, so very nice there. And I wanted to give myself a little bit of elasticity so it would relax when I pulled it off. And I went to a local fabric shop, and once I located the elastic, this is what I bought. And we did double it up when we sewed it in here. And to keep the rest of the stitching from popping, I just put some super glue in there top and bottom to keep the stitches from keep unraveling themselves. And that really took care of it. So all great and fine. So with that simple modification for the sock, I'm now back to using this all the time, full time. I do like how the sock feels. It's got a very premium feel to it. I do think it's a little bit lighter than the old sock, even though I didn't weigh them. I really don't have a scale that would weigh it appropriately, that's that size. The compartment for our radios is definitely made for something smaller than the one you see here. I think it's probably made for the stuff that's come out here in the last year that's a little bit apparently smaller, because if you look real close right down in there, I've popped a stitch or two just getting this in and out the time or two that I have. I don't use this compartment over here for anything. I just keep the battery in the back, and I've got my radio here. And I do use two of the lenses inside, and because I have corrective vision, and the two lenses are really nice. The new Fresnel lenses that they have that are, I believe they're made of acrylic, I think. They're much heavier and much better. The image is much improved. But one thing I did notice with those lenses is that once you get adjusted to the point you have it, and you take it off your head and you set it down, maybe it goes a little nose down first, and then when you come back to it, it's moved. So I fly with mine all the way back, so every time it slides forward. So that may be something you want to be aware of. You may want to double up the foam in here to help it stay put if you use two lenses like I do. If you only use one, maybe these hold it in place just fine. I just don't know that to be true or not. And as far as the add-on kit goes, we see here that just about everything that came with the kit outside the lenses has stayed in the box. So it does feel like some of the parts they've included are for people who are using head tracking or something else. I just didn't need any of these other bits. And I don't use foam on mine because I don't find it uncomfortable around my face. I don't find I have much light leak or enough of light leak to even bother me, so I don't use that. I did use this battery pocket on the old goggle sock, and I really didn't like it. Primarily because it doesn't secure itself very well, so it moves around. I mean, it's just like a loop through here, and it's a loose loop at that. And I placed it across the top strap, and it would kind of wrinkle sideways. And with this on top, especially if you're not mounting it vertically, you're limited in the size of battery that you can put in there. The one I have here fits pretty just fine, but I also have a backup battery I use that's a lot bigger that won't fit in here and still close, so I definitely couldn't mount it sideways. And you can't mount it directly vertically with the way it's designed. It's always going to be a little cockeyed, and it's just a little bit sloppy, and I didn't like it. I felt like I could feel the cables on the back of my head. It just kind of bothered me all the time. So I think if you're going to use this on the original sock, that you're probably going to want to take these straps off or secure it directly here with either some strong double-sided sticky tape or maybe some Velcro tape in order to make it like this one, because otherwise it might just annoy you as well. Overall, with the V2 add-on kit, when it comes to lenses and all the cables and stuff, you know, it's 24 bucks. I'm not certain it's worth 24 bucks. It would sure be nice, as many people online have noted, if Hobby King would sell those lenses just separate. I don't know what the price point would be, but anything less than 20 bucks, and I would probably say most people would buy it. Would I buy it again? Probably, because 24 bucks isn't a lot of money. I know I'm not talking about the Hobby King shipping. That's a whole different thing. I'm just talking about product value. But the lenses are good. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's a dramatic improvement over the old lenses. And I wish I had pictures where I could show the difference, but I don't even know if pictures would do it justice. The new sock, I do think the sock at $12 and some odd cents is definitely worth it. I like it a lot. These straps are really handy. And the Velcro up here, or not, it's not a Velcro, it's just another strap or a place to hold your cables. That's really handy when you have your battery on the back. You know, you can just keep it right here and it plugs right in and stays put. And the reason why I modified mine is a little bit hinted to by the Hobby King guys. If you saw the video, and I'll include it right up here.
With those glasses, but not with these. So let me help him get these on his head, and he's gonna.
Where the front man for the camera, the front man of the camera actually talks about he's going to help the person using the goggles fly put on the goggles, and that shouldn't be. We shouldn't need a buddy to help us put on our goggles. That's kind of an odd thing to have to ask somebody. But I did find that when I was using this sock, part of the reason why I got frustrated was I did have to really fuss with this every time getting it on and off. And I really didn't like the fact that I would have to take one of the straps completely loose to where it would just almost fall off my head each and every time to fly. Or I would wiggle it back and forth to get it off my face and still have it rubbing and pulling my eyebrows off. So I do think that if you're struggling with that, a little elastic here in the back will fix that problem for you, and then make these $12 new socks well worth it. We shouldn't have to modify new products, but sometimes we do. They got a lot of things right in this new redesign, but that's one thing I think they missed out on, was just adding a little bit of elastic back here to just give us a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of pull that we can get it away from our face when we're pulling it off. Because typically you're going to pull it off your face grabbing the box in the front. You don't put one hand on the back and one hand on the front and lift it straight off. You're just going to kind of pull it off, and that's how I've been operating, and I suspect many of you are too, but that was really uncomfortable for me. There you have it. Those are my final thoughts on this. Hobby King does have a new set of box goggles they're going to be coming out with. I can't remember what they're called, but it's a partnership between Hobby King and Fat Shark, and I think with 2 companies and 2 brands behind it, they're going to be kind of pricey. So I suspect I'm going to sit tight with these and maybe wait for the next version of Fat Sharks and see which price point they come out at. Alright, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Comment about if you have more mods that other people need to be aware of. Hit that like button if you enjoy the video. Help other people find the modifications or the opinions on this. And thanks for watching.